G'day guys, Mac with the Circle, and today we're going to look at some of these conversion world weapons again. These ones that I showed off the other day. And I'm going to be putting them onto this Techmarine from Forge World. Actually, probably the last Forge World purchase I made, or will ever make if they don't fix their pricing. I got a few of these actually floating around still in their packaging. Now, this guy, unfortunately, well, this is his power axe, and well, as you no doubt will see, it's snapped off. So what do I do? What do I do now? Well, I've got a couple of options. I can pin it. You could easily pin it. I have an 0.8mm drill bit in here, and I've got some 0.7mm stainless steel wire. I have a ton of the stuff floating around. I have a big coil of it. I use it a lot for work. Now, forgive me, I'm just going to adjust my lighting so my hands don't constantly shadow everything as badly. It just might be a bit backlit, unfortunately. I can use the hands provided from Conversion World, and yeah, they possibly work. That lighting is just horrible, isn't it? I have to put it right over the top. This is portable lighting I'm using just to try and get this stuff visible. So I could use this hand here and have this hand grip the weapon. Something like that. Not bad, not a bad system. But then I'm relying entirely on glue inside the palm of the hand to do all the work, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recycle this existing part here. I'm going to keep this hand and I'm going to drill it out and make it work for us, because I really don't want to reattach this piece of shit. So how am I going to do it? Well, file, scalpel, drill bit as mentioned, bit of stainless wire as mentioned, old pair of cutters. Important that they're an old pair, because even though they're pretty high tensile steel, these cutters, unfortunately, stainless steel wire is quite hard stuff and it does a lot of damage to the blades. And well, this particular blade of mine is the first set of Citadel cutters I've bought, and whilst they're not in terrible condition, you can clearly see there's some damage to the blade. You can see a massive gap between the two sides, and that's what will happen, unfortunately. So how are we going to do it? I have a whole bunch of weapons I can pick from, but I really like this double-headed axe, especially because it's similar to the existing axe. Now, since the blades are a similar size, I could probably even combine them together in some way. Cut off one side and perhaps put the Techmarine blade onto the other. That could be cool looking. But I think I'll keep this axe just as is, maybe. I really like that weapon. I've got a few others I can pick from, of course. I can pick from some of these big long swords, but as this guy is going to be an iron hand, I think it would be better with just the axe. So that's the route we're going to go down. First things first, I can't just cut the hand off right up against the edge. If I do that, it'll create some problems. Specifically, the problem of I'm going to have a straight tube with no detailing on it right in the guts of the hand. That's not going to look too great. So I need to think this through. How can I make these two work together? I think the easiest way is to cut the top of the hand off flush. Now I've cut it a little bit proud because I'm going to use the file, and I'm going to file that down flat. Now I use files all the time for my trade, and let's just say I'm very good at filing flat edges. So give me 2 seconds here and you'll hear me making noise just off camera as I file the hand flat. So that's the top of the hand filed flat. It's that simple. I'm going to repeat that same process on the bottom half of the hand. Yeah, I'll go right up to the hand itself. I think we'll get away with it on this model because the way that the grip is designed, it's not like a diamond knurl shaped grip on the axe. It's actually just a very plain and simple grip. And that can really work in our favour for this sort of project. And there you go. I'll use my hand to help get this into focus. That's the hand cut off. Now what I'm going to do, I want to cut an area of the blade about the same size out. So we'll go looking at it and count 3 parts of this grip here. So 1, 2, 3, and come off. So I'll just clip them off just out of frame. And I'm doing it right up against the neck of the weapon because I'm going to use the neck going into the hand to help hide the crime of what I've just done. And off camera you'll hear possibly the file because I'm just cleaning up the edges that I've cut. It's important to have a nice smooth surface wherever possible because it's going to help to get that drill bit in later. Well, I'll say it later, but it's pretty much the next thing we're going to do. Alright, 1/2, 2 halves of our axe right there. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drill into the hand. I'm going to drill into the center of the weapon, not into the center of the hand, because the fingers mean that the center is actually offset. So right there. Now I've started it. Don't go far before you pull out because you don't want to fill up with swarf inside the hole and clog the drill bit. And now I'm going to go and drill the other side of the hand, the bottom of the grip. And you're probably thinking, why are you drilling from 2 directions? Well, I want the hole to come out in the center at both ends. If I drill the whole way through blind, I risk drilling and going off on an angle at some point in the middle. And if I go off on an angle at some point in the middle, what will happen is I could end up coming out the side of this little hand instead of straight out the bottom. So just taking my time to drill through each end could save me a lot of heartache later on. Because right now I have a hand which is drilled straight through the middle. That's what drilling from each end does. Alright, now we have to do the same sort of thing into the axe haft. Well, actually this would be the head, not the haft, but whatever. How technical do I want to get? There'll probably be someone who picks me up in the comments. Squeak, squeak, squeak like a mouse. Drill for a little bit, then I pull it back just to get the swarf out. Don't need swarf in the way. Okay, pretty happy with how that's coming along. I'm drilling a fair bit into the axe head, you know. I want to give it some strength. I don't want to just make a little hole in the surface. I want to get some depth. I mean, the sort of depth we're talking right now, if I put my nail up against it, is about that far. So that's pretty good depth. And I want to repeat the same thing on the haft of the axe this time, for real. And this is where it's going to be difficult, because this is barely wider than the diameter of the drill bit. Probably only 1 millimeter across. I'm very good at drilling holes. It's from my trade background, but it's a thing. I used to drill some horrible holes in things, but that was all with big machinery. Now you'll notice me canting off occasionally. That's because I'm trying to guide the drill bit closer to true center. I know that I can steer it a little bit as I go, and just by feel make sure that I'm heading in the correct direction with the drill bit, because I want to make sure I'm going down the guts, and I don't want to be coming, as you can see, I don't want to be coming out the side, ruining the handle. So let's see how deep in I've gone now. That's not too bad. Say about 2-3 mils. Okay. Now we're ready to start pinning. The first thing I'm going to do is grab my pin wherever I've put the bloody thing. And a bit of trusty old super glue. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to apply super glue to a bit of metal. Sure, I don't need to show it on camera. Now, I haven't absolutely soaked the pin. There is a droplet on it, and it's going to go into the hole. I want it to actually, I use a pin that's about 1/10 of a millimeter smaller in diameter than the hole. That way I know that glue is going to get inside there into the hole, which is of course a key thing when you make this sort of stuff. Now I'm going to wait for that to dry and we'll be back. Alright, now I've cut down the pin. This is going to be too long, guaranteed, but it's always better to cut it down long than short. All I'll simply do, test fit the haft on, or the head on, sorry. I know, as I said, it's going to be long, and yeah, I'm about 2 to 3 millimeters too long. So that's how much more I've got to cut off the end of it. Funny enough, I've done this before. I'm usually pretty good at guessing the correct length, but I thought for the purpose of the video, that's what length it's going to be. So I'm going to glue that on, and I'm going to glue on the haft, and then the most important thing is I'm going to straighten it all out by eye, and then we'll get right back to you. Alright, and I'm just straightening that out now by eye. I'm just twisting it to find the perfect mating fit. There you go. That is now joined, and that looks pretty bloody good to me. All that's left now is to attach it to the Techmarine himself, and we'll have a fancy chain sword, or chain axe I should say, double-headed one too, from Conversion World, in place on the miniature. How cool is that? Alright, and there you go. Chain axe. Glued onto the miniature. Of course, I don't have his head on him because that's going to get painted separate to the rest of him. But that's the replacement of the broken axe with the wonderful axe from Conversion World. So I hope you guys got something out of this. That's the process I use for pinning. Maybe someone has a better process. Some might criticize the use of stainless steel wire. Me personally, I find stainless steel wire, yeah, it'll corrode over time. It stains less, it's in the name. But brass corrodes as well. It just corrodes differently. The super glue will help protect it anyway. It'll be many years before I have to worry about the pins coming apart in this model. Anyway, Mac of the Outer Circle, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.